Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing and taking a look at the Semovente Contraccaro 64. This is the Tier 8 Italian auto-reloading tank destroyer. But being totally honest, it's not an auto-reloader, because the auto-reloading gun is actually worse than the single shot. Now, looking-wise, I gotta say this is just about the ugliest tank destroyer I've ever seen. I personally think that this vehicle looks really ugly. It looks squished, which, yeah, I'm personally not a huge fan of. The back is pretty weird on its design. It looks too squished in my personal opinion. But while the vehicle may look very odd, what doesn't look odd is the gun, and it is the single shot. There's two separate options of guns here. You can see there's an auto-reloading path that'll get you to the Tier 9, which is this gun. It has a 7.24 second reload for 320 damage. And by the way, there's also an intra-clip. So let me show you just how bad the DPM is on the auto-reloading gun and why there's literally no reason to run it. So, 7.24 seconds, right? And then you also add on the 3.53 second intraclip. That means it takes 10.77 seconds to fire a single 320 damage shot. So, if we go to 60 divided by 10.77, you have in total 5.5 rounds a minute. Multiply that by 320, and there's your DPM, 1782. That's terrible DPM, right? For an auto-reloader, it's not awful, but for a Tier 8 tank destroyer, it's quite bad, especially when you take a look at this gun, which has 2,922 DPM. It's almost double the DPM of the other gun option, and it's a single shot. You fire faster as a single shot with this gun. You have more alpha by 90. There is not a single reason to run this gun here. Also, you want to get this gun because it unlocks your top turret. Yeah, pretty weird, right? There's no point to run the other gun on the vehicle. So, now that we've talked about the guns, let's actually take a look at the statistics of the better one. 0.344 dispersion and 4.2 seconds of aiming time. Not good. I wouldn't say that's good by any means, but it's not necessarily bad either. Its average penetration is 236 on the standard. Not the best, but it's enough. And the premium at 310, that'll literally butter through everything. So, honestly, the penetration is more than enough on this vehicle. It'll deal with everything in front of it. Average damage on the AP, 410 is nice. Premium, 350. And the HE is 525. Pretty stock standard, just 10 higher alpha when it comes to basically all the stats when it comes to the gun. It has 11 degrees of gun depression, also ridiculously good. It's much faster than the Tier 9 and 10, going at 38 forwards and 15 in reverse. That's actually quite mobile in reverse. I'm going to say it now. This will be the most overpowered Tier 8 in the game, period. I do not believe that there's a single Tier 8 that will be as overpowered as this vehicle ever if it comes into the game at the current statistics I'm going to show you. Why? Well, it's because of the armor. We've already seen that this vehicle has 11 degrees of gun depression. We've seen that it goes 38 as a top speed, and we've also seen that it has 2,900 DPM. Not a single downside so far. So you think, okay, maybe the armor's bad, right? Yeah, let's break into the armor. Now, I talked about this a little bit earlier today when I reviewed the Tier 9, but there's a bit of a bug going on with the test server right now, where the game keeps lagging to 0 FPS for maybe 2-3 seconds at a time. So, I can't really showcase a replay, it's unwatchable, but thankfully, all the replays I would showcase anyways were played during live stream yesterday. So, I'm just going to showcase the replays we have from the live stream itself, talk about the armor, and showcase why this vehicle is just so stupid. So, what do you think about the looks of this tank? I think it looks really ugly. That's my personal opinion, obviously. Many of you, especially people during the live stream, told me it looks nice. I just don't think it does. But, yeah, that's the armor. You saw a little glimpse of it right there. This is a Tier 8 tank destroyer. I should point that out. A Tier 8 tank destroyer that I am aiming premium ammo at, and it's red. The whole thing is red. So let me get a little bit closer. Let me get hull down, because as we talked about, this thing has 11 degrees of gun depression, so why wouldn't you use it? Here we are. This is what the tank looks like with heat. That's heat. You can see it right there. 309 millimeters of heat pen, and this is what the Tier 8 tank destroyer looks like. That means not a single Tier 8 will ever be able to penetrate this vehicle in the turret. Even most Tier 9s will not be able to penetrate this vehicle in the turret. The only vehicle that might is maybe an ISU loading premium, a TS5. I mean, this thing has really good pen. That is ridiculous armor. Now, as you can see, there is a slight discoloration on one side of the turret that I can pen with heat, but we're not even using max gun depression on this vehicle. This thing is so stupid. You will not be able to penetrate this with any standard ammunition. Now, keep this in mind. This vehicle has 2,900 damage per minute. This vehicle has 410 alpha with really good pen. And you can see even on almost flat ground with heat, I can barely penetrate the turret. I don't know what to say. I seriously am speechless. There's also very little hatch. You can see right there, that is the hatch weak spot. So I was trying to see if you could hit it from hull down, and yes, the answer is yes. But look at how small of a spot that is. Look at the hatch. You can see it right there. That's the entire hatch. So basically, in simple terms, this will be the most overpowered tank, in my opinion, ever brought into the game. I mean, what else is there to say? It's got ridiculous armor. It's got ridiculous DPM. It's got good mobility. Great gun depression. There's no downside for the tier 8. Not to at least what I showcased here. So let's now actually break into a battle that I played with it in a training room with a couple friends to show you the armor. Alright, here we are. As you'll notice, this tank, by the way, is not incredibly fast. Uphill, its power to weight is awful, so we're only going at like 1920. But again, look at that turret armor. What are you supposed to do against that? I can imagine just tier 8 and even tier 9 mediums aiming at the front of this vehicle and being like, I'm sorry, what? I would honestly say the armor on this tank is better than the tier 9s. Seriously, because the tier 9 is going to be fighting tier 10s, and obviously tier 10s are going to have enough penetration to cut through its turret. This tank is only going to be fighting tier 9s, and the highest penetration tier 9 has 374 millimeters of heat pen. It's vehicles like the M103. It's vehicles like the IS-8. Obviously, there's tank destroyers that have also really good pen, but for the most part, the highest pen vehicles are 370. If you go up against like an E75 using your gun depression, I actually don't think it'll be able to pen you, especially for a lot of people that run rammer on their vehicles. I'm running Cali, so most people that do run rammer are actually not going to be able to pen this thing at all. I've told people in the past, Cali is the way to go. Maybe this update will be the reason. So you can see the only spot with standard ammo I can pen the vehicle is that very small bar on the lower plate. If you miss the bar by either hitting the upper part or the lower part of it, you're going to bounce every way. I mean, you can see a perfect example of the stupid armor right there. Just really a dumb vehicle. So we got another vehicle right next to the side of me. You can see the side armor is very weak, by the way. So if you do try to side scrape with it, you're not going to bounce. You just should not side scrape. You really only want to use your front on the vehicle. But I mean, who cares? Once you show your front, I mean, you can see how good the DPM is. It easily just pounds shell after shell after shell into the enemy. It's a pretty stupid vehicle. It's pretty dang stupid. Also, because it has a semi-traversable turret, it means that you can poke corners at least a little bit. Not great, but enough is the best way I can word it. So, yeah, I believe that this is just about the dumbest tank Wargaming has ever introduced into the game. You can see when trying the snapshots on it without getting bled myself, it's almost impossible to do. We got one over here, and again, very, very easily he is able to heat through me. Now, I should point out, I did make a bit of a mistake. I was running hit points. I was running hit points instead of armor, which was my fault because everybody else was running armor. So I kept wondering when I was streaming why the heck I couldn't pen anybody. And then after this battle, I realized, oh, because I'm not running armor on the vehicle. Big dumb. But I mean, you can see these guys just can't pen each other. It's really just the dumbest tank I have ever seen. I don't know what to say. I am seriously speechless. So let me know what you think about this tank in the comments down below. But I believe that this will be the most overpowered tier 8 in the game. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.